Testing, testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Stuff up a bit. Testing, 3, 4. Hello and welcome to the ANZCRL's Ferrari 488 Challenge Round 1 at Sakitto Short Circuit. On screen now we have the Matty Seeking 27 in the number 12 Ferrari, so it's a one-make series, this one. And we should see some fantastic racing here tonight. It's a very flowing circuit, Sakitto, especially in the first sector. I'll turn that off. So yeah, a bit of a different format with this series. We've got 2 races for you tonight. This will be race 1 at Sakitto, with another one to come at Sugo later on this evening. We're going to run... How many laps was it? 16 laps around Sakitto. And 14 around Sugo. So tonight is the Asian leg of the 3 legs that will decide the championship, pretty much. The winner of the top 3 of each of the legs move on into the race of champions, which will come to an unknown circuit at the end of the year, end of this season, sorry, with a couple of wild cards thrown in as well. It's kind of the grand final, so to speak. So it should be very interesting to see the guys, how they run tonight, considering they got to fight for a spot in the race of champions at the end. And in the next 2 rounds, it won't. 6-round championship, 2 rounds every night. So the next 4 weeks, yeah, we should see some fantastic racing to try and get into that grand final. And sorry, I'm a bit lost for words here. And yeah, I might just move on because it's not coming to me. So yes, on screen at the moment in practice with 2 minutes to go, Dado Racer in the Cronulla Sharks looking cut Ferrari is on top at the moment by only a 10th over Illogical Sports. Night Havoc he's in pit lane, he's in 3rd, that's very close to top 3, only separated by 3/10. Then there's another group of cars, Sato and Matty Seeking, just on the edge of a second back, just can't quite get into the 14s at the moment, because Sato has a bit of a lose there in the number 1, 2, 3 yellow and blue Ferrari. I'm going to try and go by the colours, as the numbers are quite small and not all of the entries are sitting in the entry list. So try and go by colour. And then a bit further back than that, another group of 3 cars. Commander Jim, oh, he looks like he's a bit beaten up at the front there. Commander Jim in 6th place at the moment. Night Pegasus 120 in 7th, and Woody Lizard in 8th in the sky blue Ferrari, all separated by 4/10, with Whopper, who only confirmed his entry only a few hours ago. This is his first time in the car, so Whopper being Whopper, he will find something in this car towards the end of the race. Normally figures it out, and you can never write him off, so watch for him to come maybe from the back after qualifying. That's the other thing we look forward to, a 5-minute qualifying. Oh, and he's half a second up here. Let's just stay on with Whopper, see what he can do at the end of this lap. But yes, a 5-minute qualifying, one of the favourite qualifying formats of ANZCRL. You pretty much have 1, maybe 2 attempts at it to put a lap down. So the grid can really be shuffled up depending on, maybe some of the back markers might be able to put a lap time in good enough for 3rd or 4th, with some of the ones you might be in the top 2 rows at the back because they weren't able to set a legal lap time. As This is an interesting section here as they come around this long left sweeper into a bit of a fast chicane over one curb, get close to the other, or that might have invalidated his lap. You see the car just bounce over that sleeping policeman and come down the straight. Is it invalidated? His practice is finished. What time can he do? He does not improve. Stays 9th place as Woody Lizard has jumped up to 7th. We've got Matty Seeking now. Can he get into the 14s with his last lap? Coming around the final bend now. It's very long front straight downhill, so the cars will reach crazy speeds going into here. For an overtake into turn 1 and 2. It's almost downshift a gear into turn 1. Matty doesn't improve. Woody Lizard, can he go faster? He does. Jumps up 2/10 into 6th place. Logical Sports, what can he do? Oh! Not how you want to end a session, as Dado was right behind him as well. So that's practice over now. We have Dado Racer on top with a 14.1. Only 3/10 covering the top 3. So that's a good indication of their pace going into the race. It looks like we'll have a couple of battles at the front, mid and back, but you know how these sprint races go. Anything can happen here and anything will happen. I'll try my best to keep up with the chat if you're there. That's something I seem to struggle with when I'm commentating, so say hello if you're here. I'm looking at the chat as of now. As we see qualifying getting underway now. Great, just setting up the chat. So who's the first car going out? It is Sato 15, the first car coming out. The yellow, black and black car with a bit of blue and red on it. Gotta try and learn my cars. The funny thing is I'll learn them for tonight, and next week we had I think it's the European leg coming up. European or Asian leg, American leg. European it is. They'll all be in different cars again. I have to learn them. So, not looking forward to that. Sato is something wrong with his setup or his warm-up procedure, so he's backed out of it. Now, I'm going to have to take a stab at this one and say that... Oh, wrong one. Night Havoc. I think it's Night Pegasus. As he's just been overtaken by Logical Sports in the yellow car. So he'll be the first one to start a lap, and I think we're going to have a camera glitch there, as it just showed me, I think on Sato 15. Anyway, let's go on board with a Logical for the first lap. So we come down the main straight at Sakitto here. Into 6th gear, so they're like the GT3 car, just less aero on them, so it shifts to 5th into turn 1. Running 4th gear into turn 2 now. Nice and easy on the throttle there, not to run too wide. That curb can kind of pull you sometimes. Flat out through here. I think it shift down 2 gears. To the left, this is where you got to keep it tight on the apex here. You want to keep it, that's it, real nice. To the right, don't drift too far because then you've got to run a tight line here. Come up the hill to the left, long left-hander into the Degmas, the 2 Degmas. 1 and 2. Honestly, it's my favourite part of the Sakitto circuit based off Suzuka. We come into the right. See, this is not on the full circuit here. This is that little add-on piece. But pretty nice bit of track, if I don't mind saying. Now back on into the longer version of the chicane, very fast through here. So you can see we took it in 5th gear as he comes out the other side. What's the lap time going to be? The lap time. Illogical starts us off with straight into the 14s. Night Pegasus goes to... Oh, Dado 15 flat. Night Havoc 15.4. Night Pegasus 17.5. Matty jumps up into 4th with a 16.4. Sado, that was Sado's outlap. Looks like Jim and Whopper didn't get a lap in there. Oh, Whopper's just gone through with a 16.7. So that's all about where he was in the practice session. So that's great to see. So Commander Jim there and Woody Lizard didn't manage to put a lap through. That's what I'm saying. This will be... They might get around... They might get one more after this. Logical's gone to the pits. That's good enough for him. He's called it. What can Dado do now? He's in the traffic as they go through the two Degmas now. This is gonna... this is gonna cost him. He's gonna clear some space to try and start another lap. He is. He's backing it up into... I think that's Night Havoc there. It is. Night Pegasus to the car in front. My memory serves me right as we start another one. What can Night Pegasus do here? Can he improve on his 17? He does. He goes a second faster, jumps up into 5th. Night Havoc jumps up into 2nd with that one. He just needs to gain 1.5 tenths. Oh, but he spins out at turn 1 in qualifying. Oh, and Dado's off too. Oh my goodness. And Commander Jim, he's jumped up to 4th on his lap. The one that really counted. Woody Lizard into 6th. Matty Seeking stays 5th with a 15.3. Got Night Pegasus. Going to be the first car to cross the line for the final time. Only got 5 cars left, but the top 3, they've called it, so it's all for the taking for the likes of Commander Jim and Matty Seeking. All they need to do is gain half a second somewhere. So the car goes to look at Sato every time we go through the second Degma there. Oh, Night Pegasus, he's up by 8 tenths. This would put him into 5th place at the moment if you are... Sorry. 6th place if you can do this one. As he comes down the main straight now. What can he do? Can he improve? He's already 8 tenths up in the 2nd sector. No, he can't improve on that one. Matty Seeking, can he jump ahead? He goes to pole with a 14.74. What a lap from Matty Seeking. Who else is out there? Whopper, what can he do now? He improves but doesn't gain a position. 1.3 off. And that leaves... That's it. We're done for qualifying. Matty Seeking on pole. What a lap from him. And just goes to show how that last lap can always help you improve. You got to be in it to win it. It's Matty Seeking off pole and Logical Sports P2 for P51 Sim Sports. A front row start for them. Commander Jim and Night Havoc 3rd and 4th. Only 3 tenths separate the top 5. Wow. Yeah, so there, Jim and Havoc, they're normally teamed up, so they'll be looking for good start there. Dado Racer in 5th with Woody Lizzo alongside him in the 2 blue cars. Night Pegasus down in 7th alongside Whopper with Sato not being able to put a lap time in. He'll start 9th place. But yeah, what a lap from Matty Seeking, and also even the ones who did a lap, it was only separated by just over a second there. So the whole field was nice and tightly bunched here. Anyone could have had it. So we get ready for the race start now. I bet you Matty Seeking was not expecting that. He'll be so ecstatic with that result. As we'll try and see how much, I'm not sure how much fuel they run, so we'll go through a bit of a fuel count at the start of this one. Matty Seeking looks like he's going to start 44 litres, 45 for Logical Sports, 41 for Commander Jim, running a bit lighter car. Night Havoc 44, Dado 42, Woody Lizard 44, 44 seems to be the magic number, 45 for Night Pegasus, 44 for Whopper, and 47 for Sato. At the back of the grid. That's a bit unlike Sato, to be honest, but he's put it on pole position for every qualifying event of the IndyCar series, just been the reigning IndyCar champion. But he's got the likes of Matty seeking Illogical Sports to deal with the two GT3 champions from last year, Night Havoc and Datto Racer in the Open and Pro divisions, with Night Havoc even taking out the Endurance Championship for the GTs as they're getting ready for a start now. We'll go on board. Bit of a better angle for Commander Jim. We can see 6 cars. Sorry about the angles. And the lights are off and away we go. And Matty Seeking gets a great start with Illogical Sports alongside, but further back, Night Havoc. It's 4 wide down the main straight. 3 wide. Datto in the middle. Night Havoc on the inside. And they sneak around the outside there with Matty. Illogical Sports up the inside of Matty. So it goes Illogical, Matty, Datto out of the final one, Commander Jim, Night Havoc in 5th, Woody Lizard 6th, Whopper 7th, Sato 8th with Night Pegasus rounding out the rear. They come through the S's now, the crazy first sector of Sakitto. It looks pretty tight here for 2nd, 3rd, right back to 8th. The aero not being the same of the Ferrari 488 GT3. They come along now, Datto looks racy. He looks racy, he's going to put down the inside of the right-hander here. He isn't. They all get through there nicely. As the camera goes to Sato, but it actually stays here, which is not too bad. Logical gets away. He leads by about a second as they go through the back half of the track onto the fast and flying section, through the fast chicane. I wonder how the cars are going to handle through here with the aero. Matty looks like he's got a good run. You can just see how they are settled down there. They come through, they cross the line. Illogical, Matty, Datto, Jim, Night Havoc as Woody Lizard's got Sato alongside him now as they come down the main straight. Whopper in 8th, but Night Havoc, Night Pegasus is into the pits. Must have damage. Sato's backed out of it. I can't see anything wrong with that car. Come out of turn 2 now. Oh, and that's Whopper. He's off. I saw him stop at turn 2 there, between turn 1 and 2. It's Datto looking to get away past. He doesn't want Illogical Sports to get away. Illogical Sports, he's calculated. He's cool when he leads the race. He can control it almost better than anybody else out there when he finds himself in the lead. And once again, Datto stalking the back of that purple car. Blurry shot into the second Degma there. Oh, it's a bit further back. Night Havoc got a little bit loose. It's looking really not juicy for Woody Lizard here. Is he? Oh, I thought he might be able to sneak it up the inside after he ran wide. Sato's just back there as well. Come through the final chicane. That's a lot of curb there for Night Havoc. I hope he didn't get a curb cut as we start the 3rd lap now. Datto's right on the back as he's having a look down the inside. Down the main straight, 2 wide now. He's down the inside. Will Matty back out of it? Yes, makes it easy for him, and he doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it down the inside of the right-hander. As he look further back now, Woody, Sato. Now Datto's clear of Matty. What can Commander Jim do? He's been driving brilliantly this year. Got a 2nd place at the IndyCar Series, and that's not having just a bit wide in the background. Yeah, in the IndyCar Series, hadn't raced anything that powerful. Comes into it first round and picks up a 2nd place, but then had a very unlucky season for the remainder. Matty seemed to come under a bit of pressure there. He's hoping he just needs to keep a cool head. He tends to overdrive when has a bit of a moment. He hasn't had a moment, he's just lost a couple of places, but he's just got to not think about what's behind him, just focus on what's in front. So we come and start lap 4 now. It's 1.5 seconds. Matty's Datto to Illogical and Matty front and behind. Commander Jim in 4th place there. Night Havoc, and it looks like Sato's having a look at Woody Lizard. Woody puts it defensive. Oh no! Woody Lizard, I thought he'd done the right thing there. He's put it down the inside and shown Sato the way to go, but he's the tight lines cost him there. He's gone too deep off the track and into the fence. It's not how Woody Lizard would like to start his race off. Oh, and it's juicy back up here for 3rd. Matty Seeking holding up Commander Jim and Night Havoc as he's going to have the inside line for the next the next corner here. Oh, that's ballsy from Commander Jim. Around the outside, but now it's going to have the inside for the next one. No, Matty keeps it in there. Night Havoc's all over him now. Can he get up the inside here? Yes, he does. Matty gives him space. Both respecting each other there. Fantastic racing. But now, with that accident with Sato and Woody, that's elevated Whopper up to 6th place, and Matty doesn't have to worry about what's behind him anymore. He can get his head down. There's still 12 laps to go in this race. Logical still leads 1.5 seconds over Dado, who only gained a 10th on him the last lap. But Jim, what a move around the outside. Last of the late breakers. Fantastic. We watch the battle now for 4th place. Can Matty Seeking respond? We go through the staircase section. It's very tricky here. This is where a lot of time can be gained and lost. Just having to check back here as the Sato's found the back of Whopper. And Dado's found half a second on Illogical Sports. He's on a fastest lap at the moment, but Dado, he's even quicker. So as Commander Jim comes under the bridge, he's also on his best lap. Night Havoc slightly down, and Matty quite a bit down. But that's alright. We might just play it off for 5th place. Whopper will be happy with 6th, but he's got a time penalty. I'll check in with that later on when it's a bit more quiet. This section just looks awkward. It's like one gear and then through another and a lift, but we come down the main straight now. Got 7 seconds from Whopper to the back end of Matty Seeking. Sato, he's in the 15s. Illogical Sports pulls out a 14.5 for the fastest lap of the race. Just as Dado had closed in, he's pulled it out again. Only a few cars into the 15s. Dado, Jim and Sato. Woody Lizard stayed out with that damage. Watching now the battle for 6th place. See, like I said, Whopper's coming to grips with this car. He's doing some great things in the Shakedown League and the GT4 Old Gen Championship. He's just run a little bit wide. Is this going to give Sato the invitation he needs? It does, and Whopper's just off as I gave him the commentator's curse. I'm so sorry there, mate. But he's got 11 seconds on Woody, so if he just keeps doing those early 17s, late 16s, he could hold on here. The next closest battle on the track, Matty Seeking. He's just starting to slowly drop off the back of Night Havoc, who's just picked up a time penalty of just seeing his number go from a white background, number 4, to a red background. Commander Jim. He's lapping pretty much the same pace as the leaders, other than Illogical, who's just half a second quicker at the moment, but same lap time as Dado and Sato. He's on for a good result if he can just hold it here. He's got 2.5 seconds clearer of his teammate Night Havoc. And Dado, well, Dado would need to start making some mistakes if he's got any hope of catching him, but anything can happen. We're not even halfway into this race yet. Amazing job Jim's doing. He's just improving all the time here. Watch the leader, Illogical Sports, come down the main straight as he just sets another fastest lap of the race. Dado a 15 flat that time as he comes down into turn 1. Trying to do some fancy camera work here. Jim, Night Havoc, Matty Seeking in 5th place. They cross the line. That's an 18.7 for Matt. That's not a great lap as Sato. He's found the back of him. He's got 3 seconds to Matty's. Night Havoc's had a bad one too, a 79, so I wonder if they've both had an off there and I've missed it. Whopper back in 7th place. Woody Lizard's found a few seconds on him. But Had a bit of a bad lap last lap around, but he's back on 17.3. Can Dado do anything about Illogical Sports' dominance? He just couldn't. If you let him get away, he's just the mastermind of just keeping it cool and running to a number. As we go on board for a lap with Dado Racer around the Sakitto short sprint circuit. Just see how long this straight is, and it's downhill. 14.8 for Dado, but yeah, Logical Sports, he's dropped the pace there. He's brought the gap right down. Oh, look at that slide from Dado Racer in between turn 1 and 2. Okay, 6th gear coming into this one, using 2 wheels on the dirt, Gizzy style, through the staircase section. I wonder if Logical Sports has cooked his tyres too much. Dado, the only one in the 14s on the last lap. As they're heading around the long left-hander towards the 2 Degmas. 4th gear corner, back down into 2nd, I think. No, he's taking it in 3rd. Cars have quite a bit of acceleration, so yeah, they have a bit of more of a top speed than the 488 GT3 car, but the front aero's not quite as good, so they lose lap time in the corners. I wouldn't say they'd have lost much, to be honest with you. So come down to complete the lap now. Did Logical improve? No, he's even slower, and Dado was not quite as fast, but still gained a heap of time on Logical this lap. Jim, he's started dropping out of the 15s now into the 16s. His teammate 2 seconds back. I wonder if he'll hold station. Sato hasn't been able to make any more inroads on Matty Seeking. Whopper still holding down 7th place. Knight Pegasus in 9th after that damage, but he's only 10 seconds or 40, so any problems back there and he'll be right back into this. Dado slowly creeping in, he's reeling it in. Dado, the gap at the front, still 1.5 seconds as I'll go through the time penalties. 1 second for Night Havoc, 1 second for Whopper, and Night Pegasus. How he has not been disqualified, I do not know. That must be for speeding in the pits. 50 seconds, it's very harsh. So no matter what happens here, he's going to be at the back, unfortunately, with that. The closest battle on track right now. Well, actually, no, it's not. This one is the yellow car. Logical Sports leads 1.3 over Dado in the nice, beautiful looking blue, white and black car of Dado Racer. Slowly, I think they're both into the 14s again. Dado's done a 14.7, so that's got to be close to the fastest lap of the race. Maybe he had the tyre pressures a bit different for it to come on later in the race, because he's now got a logical thinking about what's behind at the moment. So also got to keep an eye on Matty Seeking and Sato, the battle for 5th place. Go to start, 6 laps to go now as we start the 12th lap. So now the gap just does not really move very much at all. Finds 2/10 on him this time around. Just see Sato uses a bit more of the sleeping policeman. Matty didn't use any of it that time around. Dado seems to be quicker in this section than Illogical Sports, but Illogical seems to be quicker on the back end of the circuit. So I wonder if different setups have a role to play in this race. Still plenty of laps to go, plenty of opportunity. He just needs to find the back of him, and Dado, he's one of the ones very good at overtaking. Sends it real hard. Logical will have to get his elbows out and defend quite hard if he wants to keep Dado behind, if he was to catch the back of him, and I'm sure that's what he's thinking. He knows that. Dado, just the same deal. They just can't really get between a second, really. It struggles to keep it down as Dado, so he's done a 15.5 that lap. Lost half second to a Logical. It just keeps seesawing any which way. Down the main straight now. Matty Seeking doing his best here. He's doing pretty good. Faster than three of the two in front of him that last lap, or not having the same lap as him. Now Logical's extended that gap out to 2 seconds again. The pressure's getting to Dado. It's coming towards the end of the race. He still hasn't found the back of a Logical, and with every lap it gets harder and harder. The best opportunity into turn 1. Commander Jim, he's fallen into the back of the clutches of his teammate now, Night Havoc. But otherwise, he's put the practice in and it's showing. Third place at the moment, and a good one hand on getting into the grand finals, the playoffs, the race of champions at the end of the 6 rounds. Top 3 from each leg, plus a wild card. But these guys will show up at the next race, having already qualified. I think it then become the next 3 after that. So even if the top 3 finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd again, they would, the 4th, 5th and 6th will qualify for the playoffs. Sato, he's half a second behind Matty now. Oh, Matty's run a little bit wide. Sato has a look. Couldn't quite get up the inside there, but Matty should have a better run. And he moves it straight over, does Matty, but he puts he's on too wide and it's pushed him wide. He's off again. Oh, Matty Seeking. Just the pressure just got to him once again. He's fallen to 6th from a very impressive pole lap. He'll be happy with the pole lap, but won't be happy to not convert it into a top 3. He had top 4 pace going into after practice. He won't be happy with that one. To start, 2 laps to go now. Logical Sports still has a 1.7 second lead on Dado. There's nothing Dado can do, but if he's thinking about the grand finals, the playoffs, he too seems to have the pace and to have one hand on that. What would you call it? The award? No, the reward? He'll go through if he can finish in the top 3 once again at the next race at Sugo. It's quite a different track to this one, both in Japan, but this one is a bit more flowy, where Sugo is a lot tighter. As Whopper, he's lost the position to Woody Lizard as he sets his fastest lap of the race. Now 15.2. That lap time would have put him half a second off pole, and his lap time's 8/10 off the fastest lap at the moment. See, he's done what I predicted. He's found out how to drive this car, so we should see him at the next round. Hopefully he can pick up a setup and get towards the pointy end. So Logical Sport starts his last lap now in the yellow 488. He's picked up a drive at the majors. I'm on 24-hour on iRacing. Also driving a 488, but the GTE version on the race car with the Clutch Kickers team. So that's in 2 weeks' time. Dado just couldn't reel him in there. They were only a tenth separating them at the end. It's not Havoc. It's just a bit too far back from him, and Whopper now. Or might just quickly stay on this one into turn 1. Whopper, he's got no damage on his car, so he's a lot quicker than Woody. As Woody moves it over to defend. They're both braking. Woody, can he pull this one off this time? He does. Perfectly. As Logical Sports comes through the last corner to take the win. Round 1 at Sakitto. And it's the checkered flag. Well done. Dado Racer will come home second. As there's a battle for third here. Jimmy's holding on to his teammate, Not Havoc, who's got a 1 second penalty. So he's pretty much got third in the bag as they come down to Main Straight. Boom. Third, fourth. Jim, Not Havoc is start doing wheelies. Sato now. 5th place. Good drive from him. From the back of the grid. Matty Seeking was hoping you could do a bit better than that. Maybe 3rd, 4th even. Won't be happy with that. It's Woody Lizard. He's holding on for dear life. Oh, Whopper! Oh, it's his connection. He's still there. He's still there. He's got a weird connection going, but can he get a good run out of here and drag him down the last corner? He's just clobbered over them. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Can we call that a Dado? No, I think he's... Oh, my goodness. Whopper. That wasn't connection. That's what happened. He's done a Dado. For those of you who don't know, I'll explain it later. Let's just say that. So Logical Sports wins the race and picks up the fastest lap by 0.0911, yeah, over Dado Racer, taking the points for the first round. Commander Jim with an excellent start to his campaign in 3rd. Night Havoc in 4th after a great race, 3 wide down the main straight off the start. Sato coming up from 9th to take 5th place. Matty Seeking not very happy with his starting position to get that result. Woody Lizard in 7th after the damage he sustained. I think he'll be happy with that one. Whopper 8th place. Could have maybe done. Don't know what he might have had in the end. I think he had a 1 second penalty, and he did. And Night Pegasus with the 50-second penalty, fortunately, comes home 9th. We didn't see what quite happened to him there, as I might try and get a Logical Sports into the party for a quick chat. So yes, I might use this time to explain what a Dado is. So doing a Dado is at the last round of the IndyCar Championship. Dado Racer came out of the last corner on the last lap to spin out and hit the wall and lose a spot. And that's what that's what Whopper has just done, unfortunately. One more quick invite. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen here. Alrighty, well I might wrap it up there, and we'll see you in about 20 minutes for the next round at Sugo, where it'll all be on the line for those drivers in 4th, 5th and 6th to try and make something of it to get into the playoffs at the end of the season. I'm Commander Cirrus 53, and I'll see you then.